Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. This is your Z107.7 Local News for Sunday, June 14th, 2026. Bad roads tend to be one challenging aspect of living in an otherwise beautiful high desert, especially in our unincorporated rural areas where county maintenance isn't always guaranteed. A group of Morongo Valley residents recently took matters into their own hands to smooth out their roads in a collective effort after attempting to create a special roads district through the area. Reporter Gabriel Hart spoke to Daniel Polk, who spearheaded the recent road repair on Navajo Trail, with guidance from Bradley Garrett of the Rawson Road Improvement Group, who also recently gave Rawson Road one of its first of many repairs. Here's Gabriel Hart.
Last February, the Rawson Road Improvement Group spoke to Z107.7 after efforts to form a special roads district through San Bernardino County fell apart. Rawson Road Improvement Board Treasurer Bradley Garrett stated the county, quote, botched the job, miscalculating parcels, which drove up estimates each resident would have to pay to have the county maintain their roads. However, the nonprofit group decided to remain intact and be available for smaller ad hoc repairs on a case-by-case basis. And last month, Navajo Trail Road Captain Daniel Polk decided it was time to address their road, one of the worst in Morongo Valley. They decided to solely use road base, a combination of crushed stone, sand, and dust that distributes evenly, ensures stability, and provides drainage to prevent shifting. Road base is quite literally the next best thing to asphalt, since that's what goes down first when properly paving a road.
The nonprofit had some funding from what neighbors had donated in the past year or more. So they gave Navajo some of that money, about like $725, enough for one load of road base. And then we decided we'd raise enough money for two more truckloads, so 3 total. And so 3 loads was enough to patch the worst spots on the upper quarter or third of Navajo, is about 1,000 feet. Once we get a heavy rain, that'll be the real test, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
Polk reached out to select neighbors on Navajo he knew personally, and soon they had more than enough to cover their section of the notoriously wrecked road. Neighbors also contributed labor and equipment, a tractor to smooth out the base, and a water buffalo they rented to spray onto the base after it was poured to activate the sediment. Polk said once a couple other neighbors from Lower Navajo saw what was happening, they also expressed interest, but it will take the same collective effort Upper Navajo put forth.
So the hope now is to see if we can contact some more neighbors on Navajo on the lower end of the street, hopefully buy some more truckload and patch the rest of the road.
Last week, Rawson Road Improvement Secretary Bradley Garrett and President Sally Ellis began putting base down on the most problematic sections of Rawson. A much larger road that Garrett is crossing his fingers will have the same luck as Navajo. With their own money, Garrett and Ellis bought a backhoe tractor to spread the base to accompany Ellis's skid steer to condense the base into the potholes. He said they had just enough left in the original fund to cover another 3 truckloads of base and are waiting on a check from 3rd District Supervisor Don Rao to cover the rest.
They're going to chip in another $5,000. It's amazing. It's really amazing. We had a meeting with the county, and there were discrepancies, as we spoke to you about last time. The materials going down, the costs going up, and then the real clincher was the survey cards and the letters that they sent out, and the numbers didn't even match. Yeah, once we raised that with Supervisor Rao's office, they were more willing to help. They said, this could have been handled better, and they want to keep the conversation going with the county about maybe refining the scope of work. And I think one suggestion, and we can talk about this, but I think maybe we go back to them and say, why don't you guys just bring in road base? Like, forget about digging it up and guttering everything and tearing up the asphalt, just bring in base, and maybe we can get this cost down to something that people are comfortable with.
For more information on do-it-yourself road improvement, you can visit Rawson Road Improvement's website at a link in the story at Z107.7 FM.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Gabriel Hart.